We preview Auburn's big matchup with Oklahoma on this live edition of the Uptempo Podcast. Let's go. Good evening, Auburn family. Up-tempo gang, War Damn Eagle, man. I hope everybody's blessed. Hope everybody's having a good week. I hope that if you're down there in Central and South Florida, man, that you're staying safe. And, if they tell you to evacuate, just get out of there, baby. I hope everybody's having a good night. Blake, we're going to preview this big matchup. It feels like our Auburn Tigers are fighting for their life this Saturday, but I think Oklahoma kind of feels that way too, right? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. And like you said, it's hurricane season, and if you live on the Gulf Coast, you go through it every year, and it's a struggle, man. And just praying for all those down there in Florida, and as the storm moves up into the Carolinas, Georgia, all that good stuff. Prayers to all those people, man. I know when that thing gets inland and it starts spinning them tornadoes and stuff, tough times for people. And but we got football this weekend. So that brightens people's days, and the Auburn Tigers are in a tough spot, Dustin. You're 2-2. You're on your fifth home game. You haven't been on the road yet, and you got a Oklahoma team who didn't look very good against Tennessee, and in my opinion, they haven't looked great all year. And they switch quarterbacks. Jackson Arnold goes to the bench. This Michael Hawkins kid, a true freshman, he comes in and kind of gives them a little spark. I think he went like 11 for 18 or something like that for a buck something, $130, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know he can take off and run. He's a very athletic guy. So they're trying to create a spark over there. What's crazy to me is all these years, man, Oklahoma has been, excuse me, y'all, my daughter's over here. She's dealing with a cough. Oklahoma has been so offense heavy and just producing Heisman Trophy winners and the elite wide receivers that they put into the NFL, like the CD Lambs and all those guys, man. And now this year they have a lockdown defense, and their offense is the one that's struggling. So it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be a chess piece for who can not turn the ball over and who can play the field position and who can not mess up on special teams, who can make that big play on special teams. Can Towns Magoo hit a big kick for Auburn? It might come down to something like that, Dustin.
Yeah, I very well could see it, man. I put it on Twitter today. This is gonna feel like an old school classic, one of them Jefferson Pilot era type SEC games. It's gonna feel like one of them 13-10s. I really do feel like 17's the number. If somebody gets to 17 points in this game, I think they'll be the winner. And you talk about Oklahoma making that quarterback change, and That's tough. You let Dylan Gabriel go up to Oklahoma. I wouldn't say you but you felt like you were okay because you had the former 5-star top 50 player according to every recruiting service sitting right there. And then now you're 4 or 5 games into the season, you have to call them to the bench. And they just had that loss to Tennessee. And it's funny you talk about their offense because I'm really seeing these Oklahoma fans kind of newsflash. We're not the only fan base that's at war with itself this week. The Oklahoma fans have been going at each other's throat based off of the offensive struggles, and they're doing the same thing. Half the fan base is saying, calm down. The other half is freaking out. There's a couple of reasonable people that are saying, yeah, well, like we can criticize it and not be freaking out. It looks eerily similar over there this week to what we've got going on. But yeah, I just feel like with them, the first SEC road game ever. I think they're coming in here, man. They obviously don't want to start 0-2 in the SEC. Auburn doesn't want to start 0-2 in the SEC. We got to get to this point, Blake, where coming to Jordan Hare Stadium is not a slump buster. Right now, we're the slump buster. We're the get-right game. You come into Jordan Hare Stadium, and you can leave saying, we just won in a really tough environment. And if you notice, all these teams are doing that. They kind of ignore the fact that, like, Auburn's not winning at all in here, and they leave like, we just took them down in Jordan Hare, like that meant something. Auburn's got to make it mean something. And I'm begging Auburn. You have a team here, it's first year in this SEC as an SEC team coming into your house, their first ever road game as an SEC. Can we act like founding members of this league and hold it down? Can their first SEC road win be another week? Can we not be the slump buster? Can we not be the stepping stone this week? And here's the thing I'll say, man. I do think I think that Auburn defense is going to come out and play physical. I think they're gonna play just like they did last week. I have no, as far as effort and physicality goes from the defensive side of the ball last week, I have no questions. Obviously, still some things you need to clean up in execution on 3rd and long. Um, and I wasn't going to be worried about 3rd and long with Jackson Arnold. Now with the new quarterback, more of an athletic guy, I'm like, I can see him getting out and extending some plays. And now I'm kind of worried about it a little bit. And you guys know a freshman quarterback getting his first start in Auburn right now. That's just scary. Unfortunately, that's just scary because he shouldn't ball. He shouldn't ball out in his first ever start. But just kind of feels like he's going to with the way that Auburn's handled these situations. But yeah, Blake, my just initial thoughts are it's going to be a physical ball game. And as we get into the keys of the game, that being said, like I told you before we hit go, Auburn cannot be in the situation that it was versus Cal, where you're starting every drive at the 5-yard line. A couple of big plays are going to decide this game. And in those kind of games, field position is everything. Auburn's got to stay near midfield. Don't let them go on these big long drives, kind of flip the field on you. You're just going to have to get off the field early. Get them in 3rd and long. My God, get them off the field. Quit committing stupid penalties. Quit blowing coverages. Everybody do your damn job and get off the field. And Oscar Chapman, you're going to be important. We're going to have to pin him down there. If the defense can make a couple of big turnovers, flip the field position, set our offense up where they're already in field goal range, that kind of thing. I really think, Blake, the 2 or 3 plays will be the difference in this game. I think your defense is going to have to step up and make a couple big plays that can set your offense up because Hugh talked about it in his presser on Monday. Oklahoma has allowed 1 run of over 10 yards all year, and their pass defense is stout as well. I think you're going to see PT in this one because I can't imagine that you're going to start Hank Brown after what happened last week going up against Brett Venables and all the challenges. I mean, he's a defensive mastermind, everything that he could present. I just feel like Peyton's overall understanding of the game going up against a team that's going to do what they're going to do defensively, you're going to kind of need that veteran to just to come in there and hold it down. So, yeah, my keys to the game is win field position. I mean, we all know Auburn's first in the country in turning the ball over. So, like, obviously, the obvious one here is stop doing that. Maybe have a home game where you win the turnover margin, field position, and Peyton Thorne, bro. Just be average. Be average. Protect the football. Make the big plays when they're there. If we got a guy streaking wide open down the field, Blake, that might only happen 1 or 2 times in this game. You got to throw it to him, and then for the love of God, if it hits you in the hands, catch the damn football. Keys to the game for me: field position, make the couple of big opportunities will show up, and you're going to have to make it because whichever team does is going to walk out of here with a win.
Yeah, Dustin, I'll be straight up with you. My biggest key to the game is if Jarquez Hunter doesn't have 23 touches or more, we need to talk to somebody. We need to talk to somebody. And I agree with your pops. Run the ball. I don't care that Oklahoma has only given up 1 rush over 10 yards all year. Pound them. Let Jarquez eat. Grind on Oklahoma, man. Wear them down. Hold on to the football. I agree 100%, Miss Karen. I think Auburn needs to make this game one of them old time. You brought up Jefferson Pilot, man, where it was just power eye, run the football, grind it out in the trenches, and be physical at the line of scrimmage. So run that clock, and slow the game down. All right, and play field position, like you said. We can't start whatever Cal was doing that day. Their punter, I mean, God, what a performance! I mean, he was putting us on the 1 every time. But yeah, no turnovers. We can't afford to throw the football. And who was it? Real quick, who was it? Yeah, Daniel. Pull that one up, Dustin. Pull that one up. He says, "Why run it when we fumble? Why throw it when we throw it to the other team?"
Got to do something, Danny. Got to do something.
Maybe we should just take a knee. Maybe we should just take a knee. All right. So look, I know Oklahoma's offense. They're starting a true freshman. Folks, they're beat up. They have injuries all over the field. I mean, that team is battered and bruised. I don't think they have a wide receiver available, honestly. They lost Farouk, a couple other key guys. It's the injury bug has hit that team over there. Now their defense is they're going to force turnovers. What's crazy is last week they turned Tennessee over on the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
And then turned it right back over. All right. Insane. Their defense is stout. They're good at the line of scrimmage. They got great linebackers, and their secondary, what has been really the hamstring of that defense. That thing has been awful. That hammy has been weak for years on that Oklahoma D. And this year, they're actually not bad, man. They're not bad. They're covering well, creating turnovers, and they're physical. They'll hit you. I remember a couple years ago with Tua and Kyler, I went to Miami to watch Oklahoma and Alabama in the college football playoffs. And I watched Josh Jacobs absolutely murder a man on the field. I mean, he absolutely ran him over. And I said, man, that Oklahoma defense just can't hang. And now you got guys like Stutzman. I mean, he said, I'm like communion. I'm that cracker with the juice. Like, I mean, that's single-handedly probably the greatest tweet of all time.
It's up there.
Yeah, but
he
he's a dog, man. He's a leader of that defense, and I gotta sit here and think that Auburn has to run the football, man. Use your guys, use your workhorses in that backfield. Jarquez Hunter being a senior leader, and make this game an old-fashioned, grimy, slow it down, and run that clock. So, yeah, man. I think it's going to be low scoring, and whoever doesn't turn it over, Dustin, is going to find a way to win the football game.
Yeah, do what you did back in 06, 07. I think it was 06. Versus Florida. Block a damn punt at home, man. Block a punt at home. Make a play. Like, find a way to make a play. Special teams, defense, somebody do something, man. Our guy Roddy says hit that like button. I appreciate you reminding everybody to hit that like button. Tim, Auburn has had at least two turnovers in 6 straight games, and I think that our record would show you what happens when you do that. So yeah, turnover margin will determine the game. It's definitely determined Auburn's first 2 games versus Power 4 opponents. Man, we got to protect the football and to lead the nation in turnovers with 4 straight home games, Blake. Like, what the hell, bro?
It's so bad, man. It's so bad. And they've been ugly too. They've been ugly. Like we were talking before we started recording, is just how we've lost, y'all. That's what has me hurting, is the way we've made it look, because we have former players getting on radio stations and getting on these ESPN shows on SEC Network, and they're saying, oh, well, Auburn's, they're not moving the football and all this. Auburn is moving the football.
Yeah.
We're driving the 20s. We're doing it. We're getting in the red zone. We're having explosive plays. And then all of a sudden it falls apart. That's what hurts the most. That's why I'm so aggravated. Is because it's how we've lost. We've let Cal look like a good team. I had people messaging me after the Cal game telling me that Cal was an 8 to 9 win football team, could possibly go 10-2 with their schedule. Y'all, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right. Arkansas is not good. They're mediocre. They're not good. We made them look good. We made them look good. Yeah, that's the thing with me, man. I think that's why it hurts so much is because it's how it's looked, and it can't look like that Saturday. You can't go out there and keep making the same mistakes. Somebody's got to step up and be a leader. And I agree with you with Peyton Thorne getting the go. I think it's going to be Peyton. I think we all are kind of leaning that way. And I think him having the ability to use his legs in this game could be a big time factor because I know Oklahoma's going to try to heat him up. And yeah, Ernest Cal lost to FSU. That's how bad they are. Um, I think Oklahoma's going to try to put pressure on him because they know when teams send pressure on Auburn that it's rough, it's bad. So I need Peyton, like you said, be average, man. Just don't turn the ball over. Play like you did. Play like you did against Arkansas because that one pick wasn't his fault, and I thought
Right.
he played well. I was proud of him because after everything he went through, he got put back in there, and I think you could walk off the field saying, "Hey, he was a competitor last Saturday in the second half." Um, but I just it can't keep looking like this, man. It really can't.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I see somebody talking about. I think I had it up here. Talking about we just need to wants to see McLeod. Yeah, Ernest says he wants to see J Mac with his ears pinned back the whole game, and then let Malcolm get a punt block. Yeah, dude. Somebody's got to make a play, man. And I for sure want J Mac and K'Ron Crawford rushing the quarterback on 3rd and 19. I don't want them guarding receivers 30
Yep.
yards downfield. It's not why you brought them to Auburn, man. And what you got, bud?
No, I'm just saying, like I have never understood
Yeah.
why you don't pin your ears back and come after the quarterback on 3rd and long. I don't get it. You put DBs in an awful situation. I mean, it's just an awful spot to ask these guys if they're in man or zone. Doesn't matter to cover for 9, 10 seconds. Like old buddy Taylor Green the other day, he literally rolled right, stopped, come back left, all the way to the sideline, and then chunked it 66 yards. You know what? Keontae's eyes, they're not looking behind him. All right, he's watching Taylor Green run. You're just asking too much, man. It's you're putting your DBs in an awful spot. You watched it in the Iron Bowl. One guy made a mistake in the Iron Bowl, Zion Puckett. Why? Because you rushed two people and had a spy 31 yards from the goal line. And that's all it took was one guy making a mistake. And you put your defense, you put your back half in a terrible spot. I don't get it, man. Look, you bring the house on 3rd and long. Make him get it out quick. And if we can't gang tackle and stop him short of the line to gain, then that's on us.
Yeah.
That's on us. That means we're dog water, is what it means. But if we tackle like we did last Saturday, I thought Auburn did really, really well last Saturday. I was pleased with the tackling. I said, hey, this group, there's a different sauce in this group this weekend. Um, but I'm just a guy, man, where on 3rd and distance, I want to see you bring the heat, man. Make them get it out quick.
Yeah, I think that you're going to punt it a lot. Like this is going to be a game where Auburn doesn't move the ball at times, and that's just because a lot of teams are going to struggle to move the ball versus Oklahoma. They have a really, really solid defense.
Yep.
I mean, right now, even looking at our schedule, I would say this might be the toughest defense we're going to face all year. Like I know that Georgia and Alabama have solid defenses, but I think that the unit overall at Oklahoma is better. So you're going to they're going to stop you. You're going to have a hard time moving the ball. Those drives have to end in punts. They have to. You got to punt it. It's going to be about field position. You
Yep.
cannot give Oklahoma the short field. Punt the ball, live to fight another day. It's going to be a tight game in 4 quarters, and like I said, the opportunity will present itself. Make the play, man. Like for the first time in what feels like the 2019 Iron Bowl, I guess. Make a play in a big game at home, bro. Like you're going to have to do it because they're going to present themselves. One team There's going to be a couple of big plays in this game. One team's going to make the play, one doesn't. I'm begging Auburn, man. You cannot. I mean, you already weren't supposed to lose 2 games in this 5-game homestand to start the season.
Mm.
You obviously, if you want to have any kind of bowl postseason hope, you gotta get this one, bro. You gotta get this one, and that's why I think that this is the good. This is one thing I'll say, man. Is I did see, and I wish I remember who said it. I did see somebody in the media say this week, and maybe it was a player, and I read the media member tweeted out the player. I really wish I could remember this, but anyway, it came out. People were saying, "Hey, Auburn's not behind the scenes. This team is not thrown in the towel. This team is not given up."
Yeah.
And I believe that. And I've done some asking around, and I don't think the culture's falling apart. I still think it's better than last year, whereas, at last year it would have fallen apart at this point. If you put last year's locker room and culture with this year's, it would have already fallen apart. I think that those young guys in there, man, and Hughes kind of spoke on this, they're still fired up. Like, they still see 8 more games, 8 more opportunities to go out there and improve, and like a guy like Philip Bleedy, who doesn't have any time left, he's still playing really hard. I think these guys, the team definitely. It was about the throwing under the bus bull crap. A
Yeah.
lot of people were saying that Hugh threw the team under the bus last week, and those people that just don't understand football. He comes out and says our quarterbacks can't throw 4 interceptions. That's not throwing it under the bus. That's football 101. That's the ABCs of the sport, and the
Yep.
quarterbacks know that. And so yeah, it was media members had to ask Zach. There's where I got it. Zach Blackerby posted on the barn that the team. He's talked to people on the team, and they still are behind Hugh. None of them feel like there was just thrown under the bus. They said that everything that he had said is the truth, and they know that it's the truth. So that's one thing I will say for this group, man, is that I think they're still going to show up. I think that they're still going to play hard. If you get to like 2-5, will they mail it in? I don't know, but right now, I think they're showing up to practice on time. I think that the culture is still intact. I don't think these guys have given up just because they have 2 losses. I think you're going to see a really inspired an effort. I expect Auburn to bring the juice. It's just, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but if you go back and listen to our stuff in the summer, I said all along this is going to be a 4-quarter game, and you're going to find out if Auburn's ready to make the plays or not. I just anticipated us being 4-0 when I was saying those scenarios. But there's nothing you can do now. What you can do: 13-10 ball game. You're down. Oklahoma's driving 3rd and 6. You can make a pick. Run that thing to about the 10-yard line with a minute and a half to go, 3 minutes to go, whatever it is, and set your team up to win the game. And then come out of there and everybody say, hey, now it wasn't pretty, because this game's not going to be pretty.
Yep.
You come out and say, hey, we did it. Had to have it. Figure something out. And let's see where it goes from there. But yeah, both teams in Oklahoma coming off of their first loss in the SEC versus Tennessee, they're going to come in here trying to get that thing right. Like I said before, both teams obviously don't want to start 0-2 in the conference. Blake, it's gonna feel like it's 2004 as far as the way this game is played, and I hope the refs let it be that. What I don't want to see is the officials coming in here and start throwing people out for targeting and just really taking over like SEC officials have been known to do. They, watch, mama, I'm gonna get on TV as much as I can this week. You're gonna see me, mama. We don't need any of that, bro. But yeah, man, this is just gonna be Auburn's got to find a way, Blake. We got to find a way to make the play in the 4th quarter. It's that, I know I've said it 100 times. It's that simple, dude.
This is why I was so big on this game of Auburn getting to 5-0, because I thought we would beat Cal. I thought we would beat Arkansas, and I thought that Tennessee would clock Oklahoma in that game, and you would be coming in to Jordan Hare 4-0, and you would have a hobbling, limping Oklahoma team who just lost to Tennessee coming into your house on the road. And it didn't work out like that. That's another thing that stings, man. It's like you had the pieces, you had the chips on the table, you had the opportunity to go all in, and you folded instead. It hurts. It hurts. And I'm totally with you. I think this is going to be super low scoring. It's given me 2022 Texas A&M Auburn vibes
Mm.
with Cadillac. Yeah. I just think it's going to be an ugly game, sloppy game, mistakes here and there. Both teams are going to struggle to score, in my opinion. I just I hope the Auburn Tigers can clean up the mistakes, because if you really look at things, if Auburn can clean up the mistakes, their offense is moving the football. Their offense hasn't looked awful. It's just the turnovers in the crucial spots, in the big time moments that they Auburn will drive the field. They'll drive the 20s. Damari breaks a big run, looking to take momentum. Fumble. It's you're on a 4th and 2, man. You're driving the field. You're at midfield. You go for it, and you got a guy wide open, and instead you take a deep shot because you played Alabama A&M the week before, and you think that you can just bomb on everybody. I don't. It's there's some things, man, that we got to clean up, and if you can do that, it's not as bad as it's looked so far. And Hugh's right, Dustin. When all these people want to say, "Oh, well, you threw him under the bus, you threw your team under the bus," I think some people look at it as that should be said behind closed doors, right? Like a lot of people are just, you need to have a team meeting and say that stuff. I think what Hugh is saying is the truth, and he's saying, "Hey, we just got to play better. I don't care who I got to go to. I just got to find a guy that won't throw it to the other freaking team." Like that's what I'm saying here. I'm not downing either one of them. I'm just saying that both of them have thrown it to the other team. I think the way the media tries to turn things and twist words and everything, a lot of Auburn fans were probably like, "Hey, it's probably best you go away from the media, get in the facility, talk about it with your team, and move on." Um, but look, we got to show up Saturday. Got to show up Saturday. It's going to be a month before you have another home game,
Mm.
which I'm not a fan of, man. I thought I was going to be a fan of the 5 straight home games. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not. I'm not big on it. I it's kind of, in my opinion, it's exhausting for the fans, like traveling every single weekend, like back and forth to Auburn. Because that drive up 65, man, is the most boring drive ever. Um, and then once you get to 85, you feel a little relief, and it's just like every single week you want us to do that, and it's just kind of, to me, it's a little taxing for the fans. So I don't want to see the 5 straight home games anymore. But Auburn fans got to show up, got to make it a big time atmosphere. 100% agree about Jordan Hare. People walking in, keep getting dubs. Got to change that, y'all. We got to change that. We need that atmosphere after A&M. That feeling where, Caddy told us that we were going to be okay. That's that feeling we need. We need Hugh to say, "Hey, we're going to be okay." All right. Look, we need a big win to get to 3-2, and let's see where the chips fall. All right. What if Georgia gets clocked this weekend against Alabama and they're limping back home? Let's see where the chips may fall. You gotta line up and play. I know it says Georgia's gonna beat us by 30 on paper, but you gotta line up and play. It's a rivalry game. Let's see where it goes from there.
What if Georgia wins a close game? And they come back and they're beat up and they've won 40, 50 something regular season games in a row. That streak will end.
Yep.
They played with disaster up in Lexington versus a team they're way more talented than. Like, you win this game and all of a sudden you're coming back in it with a little bit of fire. Let's get to some of these comments before we make our score predictions. Our guy Brett is never misses an episode. We love you, buddy. He says, "AU gonna get their cheeks clapped Saturday. We all know it. Getting ready for that Heisman effort from their first time." Yeah, I'll get to this in a second when I make my prediction, Brett, as far as their first time quarterback. I don't think we're getting clapped. I don't think anybody's clapping anybody, but I know I feel
No
your
diddy.
I feel your frustration. Yeah. Was that Andre? Am I saying that right? Andre Armstead says, "I feel good about Jarquez Hunter having more than 12 carries this game." I sure do hope so, brother. I sure do hope so. And I had another comment start over here to kind of play off of that. Yeah, our guy Rodney says, put Cobb in there. Yes, sir. 23. Feed 23. He doesn't fumble the rock, and he can still move the football. Let's get more. Let's get more Jeremiah Cobb this Saturday.
How is Jarquez only getting 12 carries, man? Like, I know we want to throw the football, but once again, we go back in the summer and we sit here and we listen to, we're still going to run the rock. We're still going to be a run first team. And we got a back that's getting 5-6 yards a carry, y'all. And we stop running him. It's like, that's one thing I've noticed is Hugh gives up on the run pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
If we go out there and it's 1st and 10 and the next thing we know, we run a stretch play and pick up 2, we're throwing the ball the next 2 downs. Like, you best believe we're throwing it. And it's just like he's so quick to give up on the run if there's like no gain or a negative play. He doesn't want to run it anymore. And I felt like Cal, he was super, super quick to pull the trigger to not run the football anymore. Especially with oh man, especially with Jarquez breaking the runs that he did, and Damari had some nice runs that day, and I felt like against Arkansas, is it the fumbles where he's just like I can't trust my backs or what? I don't know, but him getting 12 touches on a Saturday is a crime. That's a crime. Give
Yeah.
it to him out of the backfield in the screen game. Get the ball in 27's hands, man. Get it in 23's hands. I feel like, I'll be honest with y'all right now. I love Auburn to death, but if I'm Jeremiah Cobb, I'm thinking about the portal. That's my honest opinion. Because I think he needs to be on the field. I think he needs to be on the field. And last year, I'm okay with not playing, and I know next year he's probably gonna get on the field and play. But why are we not in the game? You see Damari fumbling the football.
Yeah.
Stop teasing me with 23. Stop teasing me. I don't want to see him come in for one play, pick up 5 yards, and then not touch the ball again. It pisses me off for real because he's that talented. And I know he's on kickoff return and he returned one that was 7 yards deep and all that. He's just trying to make a play because guess what? He's not getting the ball on offense. And all we heard was, "Hey man, look, watch out for Jeremiah Cobb. They're gonna put him in the screen game and they're gonna get him out in space and all that good stuff." I haven't seen it. So I don't know, man. Gonna be a struggle bus Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, and Oklahoma's gonna make good offensive struggle with their defense. So it's luckily I have confidence in the way that our defense is playing, and then I think it'll be a ball game. Daniel asks, is Cam playing? Yeah, Cam's gonna play. He's okay, man. They were just being careful when they held him out versus New Mexico. If it was a big game, he would have played then. I believe Falk will have 5 tackles for loss this game. That's a big number, but he's third in the country in pressures on the quarterback right now. He's doing the damn thing, man. Kelser Falks, he's on fire. He's playing unbelievable football.
That is one thing to watch out for. Is I forgot about that. Oklahoma lost every offensive lineman they had last year.
Yeah.
And I know their O-line coach. Is great. And they produce a lot of guys in the NFL. But when you lose every single offensive lineman that you have, I don't care if you go to the portal or not, y'all. That's just something that that's tough, man. And so is it Jackson Arnold or what? I don't know, but I could see Keldrick getting off, and Jalen McLeod, Crawford, like we could see these guys get off, man. So attack that front. Oklahoma losing every O lineman, get after them.
Yeah, I mean their pass pro and run blocking has both been really sketchy. It's not like one's okay and the other one sucks. Like their whole offensive line has been struggling so far this year.
Yeah.
So like for all the things we talk about Auburn's offense, like I don't expect Oklahoma's offense. Oklahoma's offense is the kind of offense that's a lot like ours. Remember last year when we went to LSU and we were like, everyone's had explosive plays on LSU. Auburn's got to find them, and like
Yeah.
we still just sucked on offense. It's kind of that way with Oklahoma. Like, and again, I'm not saying our offense is great, but like with Oklahoma, they're going to struggle no matter who they play. And I know our defense isn't right now what we've seen in years past, but they've actually played pretty good football this year when you consider that the other the other teams have had 14 more possessions, if I'm doing my math right off the top of my head, than we have. So yeah, man. Tim the Toolman Taylor says turnover margin will determine the game. Whoever's positive will win. I mean, it's not a crazy take in most football games, especially one that we think is going to be a defensive slugfest. And yeah, Auburn's 1-6 at home. First Power 4 opponents in the Hugh Freeze tenure so far. And let's go back and look at those 6 losses. You're going to see a whole lot of turnovers, Tim. So, yeah, protect the football, and you'll be amazed at the way the game plays out in your favor. Devin says, we need a punt return for a touchdown like the one from the BYU game this past week. The crowd will go nuts. Yeah, we need that kind of play. We need a big play on special teams, a big play on defense to really get the crowd back involved. And just with the way that we're going to struggle to score points, especially on a great defense like this, you got to find the yardage somewhere. Like football is a team sport. And the other two, man, you got to help. You got to help it. I mean, right now we're at the point, Blake, where we intercept the ball. I'm like, you got to take it back. You got to take it back, or otherwise we're not going to score. So, yeah, man, somebody's going to have to make some kind of big play in one of these scenarios this weekend.
Let's just catch the ball first. Let's just catch it first. We got to learn how to field a punt first before we start talking that. Miss Devin, the BYU Cougars are on fire. All right, they're on fire. Big game this weekend for BYU, but Auburn just needs to catch that thing first.
We got a better chance, in my opinion, of blocking it than we do taking the thing on the house on a return.
You know, me and my dad were talking last night. We were talking about the punt returning situation and everything, and like how many we've muffed like over the years. You remember Tud at Florida in 2019 where he's like backpedaling? Do I get out of the way or what? And I'm just like, why are you even there? What are you doing there? If you're not gonna go catch the ball, bro, get the hell out of the way. We can't field a punt. It feels like we're in 5 years of freaking misery from somebody just going up underneath the punt, throwing their hand up where nobody can touch you, and you just catch the ball. You just catch the ball. It can't happen. We're cursed, man. We're really cursed for real. I'm being dead serious. Like somebody's got a voodoo doll on Auburn sports. Like,
yeah,
bad.
I mean, like I told you earlier today, to me it kind of feels like Auburn in these tight games. It feels like when you're in the gym and you're shooting free throws and you miss 7 or 8 in a row, and you got to grab the ball and just walk up to the paint real quick and just lay it up because you just got to see the ball go in.
Yep.
I just feel like Auburn's got to see the ball go in, man. Like they got to win a tight game to to remember how to win and to start chipping away at that losing culture. And you're gonna have another opportunity this week, man. Another one.
Yeah, it's bad, man. It's bad. It sucks. It sucks, y'all. Like we got to get on here every week with y'all. Y'all come and watch this show, and we're trash. That's where we're at right now. That's what sucks about it. It's misery to me to talk about Auburn year after year being piss poor. I hate it, Dustin.
It would be fun to be able to barn out and book hard. That would be a good time. Maybe one day we'll have a season where we can have some damn fun. Corey says the worst part of the interceptions is that the defense didn't even make a great play. We literally threw it to them, just predetermined throws. Yeah, there was one where the Arkansas defender made a good play, but yeah, man, the majority of these turnovers, like the overwhelming majority of these turnovers, are on Auburn.
I tell you another thing, Oscar, punt it, brother, punt it. All right. I know what you saw. I know what you saw. All right. I know what you saw. But you're not that guy. All right. You ain't that quick. You might think you're that quick, but you ain't that quick because they're 10 times quicker. And that gap that you saw, it closed pretty damn quick. All right, because you're slow as molasses. Period. Just punt it, brother. Just kick it away.
Yeah, it was tough. From where I was sitting in the stadium, I didn't even have a great look at it, and I was like, "Wait, okay, all right, all right." We're about to make our score predictions, man. Y'all please hit that thumbs up button. I see some of y'all. My guy Chris Causey always sharing us out on social media. Appreciate you, Chris. Share the link out on social media. Sub to the channel if you haven't. Me and Blake can look at the analytics, man. There's a big chunk. Big chunk of our viewers that are still not subscribed, and you're just making it harder on yourself. You're just making it harder on yourself. Sub, hit the notification bell, and you'll never miss a live show. Let's get in here, man. I want you guys in the comments, whether you're listening live or on replay, to leave your score predictions in here as well. I'm going 17-6. Blake, you've got 20-13. I had the comment pulled up earlier about the quarterback situation, and I think it was Tim that said he feels like their backup's going to come in and be Heisman front runner after this week. Listen, I remember I texted Blake on like Monday, and I said, I'm thinking about picking Auburn. I just have this feeling. That Auburn was going to win like a 13-10, 10-7 type ball game. Just somehow find a way. And then Oklahoma is going to their backup. And this is literally my thinking here. And I absolutely hate that my brain has to work this way right now. But because it is a freshman quarterback making his first start in Jordan Hare Stadium, I'm picking Oklahoma. It's that simple, because it shouldn't be the case. Because a starting freshman quarterback coming into Auburn in Jordan Hare Stadium should be going to a buzzsaw. Because I know the Auburn crowd, like, we know this. Everyone knows the deal. This is a must-win game, so this is going to be this was already going to be the most hype environment of the year, and now it's really going to be that because the stadium is going to be in desperation mode. I could feel that last week, so it's damn near going to be that now, right? So yeah, again, if they were starting Jackson Arnold, I'm picking Auburn 10-7, 13-10. But because that's my reason, guys, because a freshman quarterback should not ball out versus Auburn on the road. I think he's going to make enough plays. Auburn has seen a scrambling athletic quarterback for the third week in a row, so they should be ready for it. But I think he's going to extend enough plays. I think that they're going to make some big plays on third and long, and Auburn's not going to. I think this is going to be the first game of the year where Auburn struggles to move the ball, and that's more of an Oklahoma defense thing than it is an Auburn offense thing, because you mentioned the explosive plays, Blake. Auburn's second in the SEC in explosive plays.
Yep.
Second. And you can say, well, you've played Alabama A&M and you played New Mexico, but everybody's played cupcake teams.
Yep.
So everyone's got a couple cupcakes on their record. So I look at the second in the SEC in explosive plays and say, there's something there. Auburn's definitely got more weapons than they've had in years past. So can you make a couple of those plays? They're going to be there. But I'm going to stick by it. Until I see Auburn step up in close games at home, I'm not picking them. They will have to prove me wrong. So I think I'm predicting like a 10-6 type situation. And then Oklahoma scores late because our offense just continues to put the defense. I think we're going to lose the turnover margin by 2 or 3. I think it's going to be another game where Auburn is in the game in the fourth quarter and Auburn finds a way to beat themselves, because I will continue to make that prediction. You got mad at me when I made that. Some people got mad at me when I made that prediction versus Arkansas last week. And I mean, you always say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing every week and expecting something different. So, yeah, until y'all make me expect something different, Auburn, I hate it. I hope to God they prove me wrong, Blake. I really want to win this game, not just for where the season is at, but I take pride in the fact that Auburn founded the SEC, and I don't want a team that joined the league 90-something years later to come in here and get their first SEC win in our stadium. I'm tired of Auburn being a little footnote in everybody's damn stats, bro. I'm tired of Auburn being the slump buster. I'm tired of Auburn being the get-right game. It's time for that to stop. It's time for Jordan Hare Stadium to live up to the hype, and it ain't the fans' fault. And I got to say this real quick, Blake. I've seen some stuff this week, bro, of fans arguing with fans is one thing. But I've seen 2 different people, one of which is supposed to be an Auburn man. I've seen 2 different, and I'm not going to name no names here, but 2 different people have said this week, media members have insinuated that the fans are part of what's going on at Auburn right now. I'm so sick of seeing that, man. I'm so sick of seeing media and other Auburn fans blame fans for what's going on the field. Shut up. Auburn fans show up 90,000 deep and show out. It'll be sold out this week. They'll even do the stupid color schemes you ask. Stop blaming the fans. And something else I saw, let me tell y'all something right now, because I've seen this twice as well. Hugh Freeze did not bench Peyton Thorne because the boosters came to him and told him to. One of those videos was from AL.com, so you can figure that out for yourself. They're on their typical bullshit. But no. Peyton Thorne struggled last year. He came in and throws 4 picks. In practice, it had been pretty close. He wasn't running away with it. Hank was practicing well, too. We had seen Hank at sample sizes. He had impressed every time he stepped up. The entire media all week was asking, is it going to be Hank Brown? And all of a sudden this week, I see 2 different media people that have big platforms. And they didn't want to stand up with their chest and say, the boosters told Hugh to do it. They kind of cloak and dagger hit it. I wonder, we know Auburn's had this problem in the past. Shut up and say it with your chest, man. Say what you're saying. And I'm going to call you stupid and I'm going to call you a liar. Not what happened. It's crap. Blaming the fans and blaming the boosters is crap. The fans give this program everything that they got. We give Auburn everything we got. The boosters have never been more aligned. How in the hell do you think Auburn has the 4th ranked class in the country with what's been going on the field for the past 4 years? Alignment between the boosters, between the program, the money and the support is there. You can't have a top 10 recruiting class, much less a top 5 with a losing season. We were the only team last year in the top 15 in the recruiting rankings that even had a losing season. How do you do that if the boosters are the problem? If the fans are the problem? It's crap, Blake. It's crap. And I'm tired of seeing it. Y'all keep blaming Yellowwood when he's keeping this program afloat. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of it. Fans, quit blaming other fans. There's not an Auburn fan that's responsible for Auburn leading the nation in turnovers. Stop with that crap. If you're a media member, especially a former Auburn person, stop with that. Stop with that narrative. Stop blaming the boosters. You blame the boosters with the Harsin situation. The dude couldn't freaking recruit. That's why he got fired. He wasn't trying. Had nothing to do with the boosters, man. And what's going on now has nothing to do with the boosters. Booster came to Hugh and told him to bench Peyton Thorne. Get out of here, man.
Boosters just built a $90 million facility.
Football scoreboard, Blake.
Yeah, they're redoing the end zone. Come on, man. You think, like I always say this when people tell me this, is, do you think Yellowwood puts that money up to watch Auburn lose? You watch the ad on the screen in Jordan Hare every Saturday. Get your fine wood, pressure treated, Yellowwood. Right? He ain't playing games, man. You think he donates millions of dollars to watch Auburn lose? No, he don't. And it's the rest of them as well. Like, they're not giving Auburn University in this football program, basketball program, baseball program. They're not giving money for them to lose. They're not. Period. You see Auburn in every sport hire A+ coaches. Because why? They want to win. So it's not a booster thing. I've never believed that, ever. I've heard some people go off on a rant, and I'm just like, look, man, that's not it. You know, that might have been it with Alabama and Bear Bryant Jr. and all that, because he didn't want anybody to be as good as his dad or whatever they say over there. That might have been what happened over there, but it's not at Auburn. It's not a booster problem. As far as the fans, I think you hit the nail on the head. Auburn fans show up week in and week out, and you can't tell me there aren't better fans in the country than Auburn fans, because when this program was down and out, I watched them fill up the stadium with 2 dog water teams that were 3-6 And you knew it was going to be a bad football game. You knew it was going to be absolutely awful. But they still showed up and they still packed that damn stadium out. So don't sit here and tell me that it's the fan base and all this. Look, we're in tough times right now. We're in tough times in this country. People are struggling, and people are still using their hard-earned money to go watch Auburn games. Hey, it ain't the fans. It ain't the fans. All right, it's guys. I tell you what it's gotten to. I tell you what it's gotten into is look. I'm for NIL and I'm for the transfer portal. I love them. All right, I think it's great. But we got to reform this. All right, we got to fix some stuff because I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is UNLV's quarterback just absolutely quitting on his team. All right, look. When I first heard it, I was like, "Oh, well, he wasn't promised his money." All right, and now it's a he said she said thing where one side saying, "Hey, that's not how it went down." He's saying this. At the end of the day, you quit. You quit, and then it led to another guy quitting, and it's a domino effect. And then I get to watch a film review, and I hear a guy that we had wars with, we had battles with. He used to dice us. And he's actually doing a good thing for Auburn football. As much hatred has went into Aaron Murray through this program, he actually takes the time out of his day to sit down and he's saying, look, man, I'm going to do a film review for Auburn quarterbacks. Let's see what it looks like. And he's sitting here saying, hey, this guy's lazy. This guy's lazy. This guy's a loafer. Yeah, we got problems, man. It's not on fans or boosters or anything like that. It's on the kids. Like it's on the coaches and the kids. Better get it fixed. Because all the I'm going to sit out the rest of the year and I'm going to go to this team and all this. Just call it the NFL. Let's start signing contracts. Let's start signing contracts and forget school. Let's throw school out the window because schools it's they're not there to go to school. All right. Old Cardell Jones up at Ohio State said that. You know,
But the creed, Blake, the creed.
Yeah, that creed. Let me tell you something. I had somebody the other day. Tell me about the creed. All right, and I don't give a damn about that creed. All right, what I do give a damn about is dubs on Saturdays. That's what I give a damn about. That creed, you can take that creed and shove it. Is what you can do. All right, because I don't give a piss about that creed. Never have, never will. Okay, what I care about is that Cam Newton holding that crystal ball. That's what I care about. And I want one of those college football playoff trophies. That's what I give a damn about. So we better fix it and get there because rah rah ree, slap them in the knee and all that BS crap that y'all want to talk about and the history and tradition. Look, I don't give a damn. I just want dubs and whatever it takes. Hugh getting that dog back in him, fixing the whatever it is that's wrong with him right now. I'm not a big fan of the posture and the way he's carrying himself right now and all that, but we got to get it fixed. It's tough times for Auburn football. I got us losing a close one though, Dustin, and I got us losing a close one because we're just a bad team that's going to find a way to lose a football game.
Yeah.
And turnovers are who we are. And I don't think you can fix it in a week because of that reason. It's who you are. That's your identity, is to not finish drives and find a way to not get points. It all circles back to the Cal game. You make a big play. You're going down to get points before the half, and you fumble the damn snap and then get called for intentional grounding. You're just a bad team that finds ways to lose games. And it's going to continue. And I'm sorry if you disagree that I think that we lose to Kentucky and I think there could be a chance we lose to Vanderbilt. I'm sorry. My inbox on TikTok has been like, hey, man, why do you think that? I think that because of this. The turnovers aren't going to stop. It's who we are. So, a true freshman, I agree with what you said, Dustin. It's typical Auburn, man. We're about to get diced by a freshman. That's just, look at history. Shit, last year in the bowl game, we're sitting here, hey man, we're playing the backup quarterback from Maryland. Like,
Yep.
let's go. And then we get diced up.
21-0 into the first.
Absolutely diced up. And I was just like, I think I know you were at the game, but I was like, I text you and I was like, oh, why did I think this was gonna go different? But yeah, man, look, I'm praying for a dub. It hurts not picking Auburn. It really does, because I bleed orange and blue, man, but I just can't do it this week because you've showed me who you are the first 4 weeks, and I don't see it changing, Dustin.
I hope they prove us wrong, man. I did have to touch on this one. Daniel says, do y'all want Hugh fired? Just asking. No. Listen, one thing that's funny is like you put on the episode after a game and put reaction. And we always label it reaction, and then the score to the game. It's a reaction to the game. We're speaking on that game specifically. And if you didn't, do the things we think the head coach should do in that game, we're going to say as such. And I'm not saying you, Daniel. I know not you, but a lot of people take that like you want the coach fired. Just so I have this on the record and people can hear me. It will be next year, like into the season. You won't hear me say that unless it keeps going bad at the end of next year.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do my best to not move the goalpost from back when he got hired and on this season. I want to stand by. I don't want to be emotional and react to things as they go. Hugh took over this program in an extremely, extremely bad spot.
Yeah.
And we were deficient at the line of scrimmage in a league where you die if you're deficient at the line of scrimmage. And then the line of scrimmage is not wide receiver. You can't throw a guy on the outside that's 18 years old and find a way to get him the ball. It doesn't work that way. These guys have to develop. DeAndre Carter is going to be a stud. He might be the best recruit to come out of the last year's class when it's all said and done. But it takes him time as an 18-year-old to be able to go up there and push around these 20 and 21-year-olds that have been in a college weight room for 2 or 3 years and got weight on him and got the speed on him and the understanding of the game. So no, man. What we will do, Daniel, is we will take notes. We will take notes and we will observe. Every game is a reference point. So what you can do is you can come out and upset some people. You can win this week. You can find a way to maybe beat Missouri and get the win at Kentucky, and then come home, beat Vandy and ULM and A&M and get this thing to 6 or 7 wins, sign another top 10 class, and you can start, you can make the New Mexicos go away. I mean, like, let's say Hugh wins at Alabama this year. Let's say Auburn makes a bowl game and one of those wins is Alabama this year. And I know this is fairyland right now, but like at that point, how much do you care about New Mexico State at that point? So he has the opportunity to make you to throw good wins on top of those bad losses. And good wins will douse out a bad loss. You'll forget about a bad loss if you throw a good win on top of that fire. Right now, there's no good wins, and it's just a big old stack of burning shit that is bad losses. And you got to throw some water on it, and you can start this weekend. But no, Daniel, I'm a long way from this for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. And unless Dan Lanning or somebody like that called Auburn at the end of the season and was like, I'll come there tomorrow. But there's just a whole lot of reasons, man. Like who would you hire? You can't be in that cycle of firing guys every 2 years. You got to give Hugh the third year. Like there's just a lot, man, going on. So no, and I still think that Hugh Freeze was the right hire. And I think that he can get this thing going in the right direction. I haven't given up on Hugh Freeze. Been hard on him. Gave him a D- in his coaching job the other night.
Yep.
Hugh Freeze is a good coach. I still believe that. And I want him to succeed, obviously, as a head coach at Auburn. And I still think he's going to do it. It's just not going in the direction we was hoping right now. But no, man, I'm a long, long way from that.
Hey, you brought up that Dan Lennon. I shook his hand last year, and that man's rooted in substance. So I like Dan. But look, I saw P Pass real quick. The last thing I'll say is P Pass. I saw your comment, man, and saying when do we start questioning Marcus Davis for these wide receivers dropping the ball? They need to start hitting a jugs machine. All right, is what they need to do. This ain't dropping a football ain't on Marcus Davis. Catch the damn ball. You're you're a wide receiver at Auburn University, and some of these have been pretty embarrassing. Robert Lewis, you're a senior. 3rd and 9 at the sticks. Catch the ball. You were open. You ran a great route. Catch the ball. Help your quarterback. Cam Coleman, catch the ball. I don't want to hear that he's hurt because he was out there. He was good to go. So I don't want to hear the excuses of he was hurt. He's still dealing with this. No, he was playing. He was on the field. You got to catch the ball. That's it. It has nothing to do with Marcus Davis. Now, if they were out there running the wrong routes and we had multiple receivers in the same area and things like that, then I would be like, all right, what are we doing? Like, why are we lost? You know, what's going on? If we were having trouble getting lined up and our receivers were wondering, you know, hey, what's the play? I'm lost. Then I would be questioning Marcus Davis. But for us to run RPO and we got the slant wide open, and we're just dropping footballs. That can't be on the coach, man. I think he's actually done a great job, and we just got to be better in all phases of the game. It's pretty embarrassing right now. Hopefully it stops this Saturday, Dustin. But that's where I'm at with Marcus Davis.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Marcus is doing a great job recruiting. He's working with a young batch. You got a young bunch of guys there. So, I think that they'll get better as the season goes on. He didn't have a whole lot to work with. I think Marcus is okay, man. All right, smash the thumbs up button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. We will back Sunday, and I'm hoping it's going to be a book session. We can barn out and react to a big win, man. Auburn, we need a win, Blake. So we got to find a way to dig deep. These boys got to find a way to dig deep, make a play, man, and let Oklahoma know that this is still the SEC and Auburn is a founding member. So appreciate y'all guys being in here. We'll catch you guys Sunday, man. It's War Damn Eagle.
War Damn.